Okay, have you ever stopped to think about why a song gets stuck in your head? Or why a certain style just suddenly seems to be everywhere? Well, it turns out there's this hidden architecture behind it all, a kind of memetic source code that's shaping not just our culture, but our actual thoughts. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the programming that runs our world without us even knowing it.
So let's just start with a really big question. And I want you to actually think about it for a second. Where do your thoughts, your beliefs, your gut feelings, where do they really come from?
You know, we love the idea that our minds are these private, sovereign territories, that we're the sole authors of our own consciousness. But what if a lot of what's going on in there is just borrowed code? That's the wild idea we're diving into right now.
To get our heads around this invisible blueprint, let's start with something we all get: ideas that go viral. Yeah, we see them online every single day, but this whole phenomenon is way, way older than the internet. I mean, this is one of the fundamental puzzles of human history, right? Why does some ideas, some behaviors or fashions or beliefs just catch on and spread like wildfire, while thousands of others just fizzle out and disappear? Turns out, there's actually a science to it.
To really get it, just think about something as simple as a handshake. Nobody is born knowing how to shake hands. It is not an instinct. It's a tiny, elegant piece of behavioral software, a program that has successfully copied itself from mind to mind, infecting billions of us for centuries. Okay, so a handshake is one little piece of code, but how do you get from that to building an entire culture? Well, that brings us to the code for culture itself, the cultural gene, and the mechanics of how these ideas actually copy themselves.
So, the scientific name for this little unit of information is a meme. And right away, I need you to forget the funny cat pictures for just a minute. In its original scientific sense, a meme is the most basic unit of cultural information. It's any idea or any behavior that spreads by being copied. It is, literally, the gene of culture.
And this gene analogy is just so perfect for understanding it. Think about it this way. A biological gene carries the instructions for a physical trait, like your eye color, and it gets passed down through DNA. A meme, on the other hand, carries the instructions for a behavioral pattern, like a belief or a tradition, and it gets transmitted through communication. It's pretty incredible. One builds our bodies, the other builds our entire world.
Here's another really powerful way to think about it. A meme is kind of like a biological virus. See, an idea written in a book is totally dormant. It's just ink on paper, just potential. It only really comes to life when it finds and inhabits a host mind, your mind, and starts to change its behavior.
And this viral spread? It follows a really clear life cycle. First up is infection. You hear a new catchphrase. Next comes incubation. You think about it, it kind of gets stuck in your head. Then execution. You use that catchphrase with a friend. And finally, transmission. Your friend hears it, gets it, and now they are infected, ready to start the whole cycle over again.
But this is where things get so much bigger than just a single joke or a handshake. We've got to look at how these individual ideas actually team up to build entire worlds. This is the leap from tiny little memes to these massive, complex systems called Memeplexes.
Because here's the thing, ideas almost never travel alone. Just like atoms link up to form more stable molecules, individual ideas cluster together. They create these interconnected webs that are way, way more resilient and powerful than any single idea could ever be on its own. They do it for survival.
And that system has a name. It's a Memeplex. It's a whole group of memes that are interlinked and all support each other. Now we're talking about the big stuff. Entire religions, political ideologies, scientific theories, national identities. These are the giant architectures built from those tiny memetic bricks.
So how do they work? Well, take a look at this simple but incredibly powerful structure. You've got meme number 1, which gives a core rule: don't steal. Then meme number 2 provides a defense mechanism: thieves will be punished. And then the crucial one, meme number 3, provides the replication engine: teach these rules to others. See how they lock together? It's a tiny, stable, and self-propagating system.
So we've seen how memes build the world around us. But now we've got to turn that lens inward, because they also build the world inside of us. And this brings us to the ghost in your mind, the invisible government that's running inside your own head.
And this is the really provocative question that this whole idea forces us to ask ourselves. I mean, if our minds are just running all these self-replicating programs that we picked up along the way, who or what is actually in control of our choices?
Just think about it. The little nuances of how you talk, your taste in clothes or art, the music you love, even your deepest gut feelings about what's right and wrong. The argument here is that you didn't invent any of this stuff from scratch. It's all part of a subconscious architecture you inherited, you borrowed from the world around you. Even your idea of common sense.
And this is maybe the most mind-bending part of the whole thing. The most successful memeplexes, the ones that really last, they don't feel like foreign ideas we've adopted. No, they disguise themselves as us. They become what we call our personality, our intuition, our conscience. The most effective code is always the code you don't even know you're running.
So, if our individual minds are running all this code, what happens when you get millions or billions of minds all in one place, all running these interacting programs? Well, that's when we have to zoom all the way out to the biggest picture of all, the spirit of the times, or what you could call the informational atmosphere.
We all use that word, right? The Zeitgeist. But in memetic terms, it has a really specific meaning. It is the informational atmosphere of a particular time. It's the collective output, the average result of all the memes that are competing and cooperating in a society at any given moment.
It's that invisible vibe, you know? It's what makes the 1960s feel so different from the 1990s, or what makes the culture in Tokyo feel different from Rome. This atmosphere, it sets the background conditions, and it quietly shapes what feels true, what feels normal, and even what feels possible for everyone living inside of it. And that brings us to the end. We've taken a peek behind the curtain at the source code, this invisible architecture of our own minds and our collective reality. So, the only question left to ask is, now that you see the code, can you ever really unsee it?